Guys, listen to me. Your wife is never wrong. Never. It is never about her. It is always about you.
And so my wife has said to me several times, I don't feel safe with you.
It's her truth.
But when I look at it, if I'm really being honest, she has the right to say that.
Absolutely, man.
Yeah.
Part of the journey is letting go. And here's the crazy thing. When you stop looking at it like from, I messed up, you stop messing up. Because part of why you mess up in whatever it is because...
Where are you still healing?
Everywhere. Pain attracts pain. I had an affair. If I'm honest, now looking back, got married because he was looking for love, because he never received the love he was looking for as a little boy.
So did you come to an awakening before you exited that marriage?
All of the small shit is the surface for what is like the big shit. The best thing you can do for someone else is to work on yourself, and vice versa.
God, it hurts.
My world was falling apart, and I remember thinking,
Brother, thank you so much. I appreciate you being here, man.
yeah, thanks for having me.
I want to lead in with, how did you find this work that you're in now? I know previously real estate,
Yep.
Big business, but your work today, how did you find it, or how did it find you?
I think somewhere inside of myself, like all along, I knew I was going to do something to help people in some capacity. And I actually have to go back to real estate to like touch on that, because like the way that I started my real estate business was I would go out and I would meet real estate agents, and I would say like, how many houses a year do you sell? And they would say like 10. And I'd say, okay, I can guarantee you that if you give me 24 months, I can get that to 30.
Mm.
And we started with 0, and 9 years in, we were doing $1 billion in sales with that concept. The whole concept was help people get rid of, back then, their limiting money mindsets, and help them to transform their lives. Well, when I started my healing journey, it all began when my mom passed away. And it opened, I believe, a really big like spiritual portal for me. It's like the moment she left, like these questions started showing up in my head that I think were buried deep inside, but I was always afraid to address them and look at them. Like, are you happy? Do you love what you're doing? Like, do you really love your wife? Like, is this really love? And the more and more I went into those questions, the more and more that I started to realize that, like, at the time I was living my life through this facade. Like, my life was literally a carefully constructed glass china house that was ready to be broken. And what broke it was I had an affair. And I was that guy that if I'm honest, now looking back, got married because he was looking for love, because he never received the love he was looking for as a little boy. And I was willing to sacrifice anything for that, even my own intuition, my own happiness. As a matter of fact, I didn't even know what that was. I didn't even know how to connect to that. I was just living life from the outside in. Like, if I could only reach that goal, if I could only get that girl, if I could only make that much money, then I'll be happy. And that's how the work started, as I realized, like, when you live like that, and by the way, John, I think most of us do until we start the healing journey,
Totally.
And then when the deeper we go, the deeper we realize that we are one with the Creator, and we get to create life from the inside out. And man, I just saw what happened with me, and then I started sharing it with other people, and I thought, like, shit, like, humanity is kind of like jacked up right now.
Yeah.
And that was it. And I just started doing what I do, and here we are. Yeah.
Where are you still healing?
Shit, everywhere. Everywhere.
Yeah.
Where am I not still healing? I think I have to give myself some credit, because I first off, when we look at us like A-type dads, A-type personality dads that are very driven, typically the reason why we're driven is because we're deeply wounded. We didn't get something from mom or dad. We didn't get the validation, the praise, the love, the acknowledgement that we were looking for. And we unconsciously are going to go find it in money, success, power, and fame, or a combination of the sorts, right? You combine that with a society that is telling men nowadays that like that's what they need to become like successful and wanted.
Totally.
Right? Well, it's a recipe for disaster. Because you have a lot of men that are going out there that are trying to be this thing. And what they don't realize is that the energy within them that wants that thing is actually a broken heart. And that's what most men are not conscious of at the moment. And that's what I wasn't conscious of. So that by the time I finally got there, to this imaginary place that I had constructed. I remember growing up in school, it was the house with like the cars on the beach. Like when I finally got there, I realized like, fuck man, I'm still not happy. And as a matter of fact, I don't even know what happy is. And that's where my paradigm started to like break apart really, you know? And
how does one become or remain driven without the wound?
Okay. I don't know how everybody does, but I'll tell you how it happened for me.
Okay.
So when you're in that wound, if you look at David Hawkins' work, I'm going to tell you a really incredible story. Have you ever studied Power versus Force?
Study would be a stretch, but familiar with, yes.
Okay, so if you're out there, if one of the guys that is out there listening, I think you really need to do this. Just go Google David Hawkins, The Ladder of Consciousness. And what it shows, man, is it shows that all of us and everything in life vibrates at a certain level and a certain frequency, right? And at the lowest level, it's shame. So think about this, like when you're depressed or when you've been through some sexual trauma, right? Or when something bad has happened in life and it causes you to feel shame, like you're at the lowest of the low. You're unable to even take action. You just want to be in bed, you know? Then right above that is like guilt. And then it just kind of keeps going, right? Until you reach courage. And right below courage, people don't realize this. I'm going to get a little spiritual on you here.
Let's get a lot spiritual.
Okay,
dude.
well, right below courage is desire and then pride. So let's talk about desire.
Okay.
There's a lot of wealthy, successful business people on planet Earth right now that unknowingly are operating from the energy of desire. Because you could take action from desire. You could make a lot of money from desire. You could build a big business from desire, but there'll be a cost attached to that, you know? And typically it's you're stuck watching porn. That frequency, desire, right? You're disconnected with your kids. You're disconnected with your spouse. You're disconnected with yourself. You're in go mode, right? And you can make a lot of money in this world if you're in go mode, right? It's where most of our influencers unknowingly live.
Right.
Most of our top influencers on social media, like you hear them, like they don't even realize it. I just be like, that guy's like, his mom really hurt him.
Yeah.
His mom really hurt him, and he hasn't taken the time to like look into that just yet, which is fine because I was there too, you know? Well, you know, like in the Bible, it says like pride comes before the fall. I'll tell you exactly what that fall is. Pride comes right before courage, and courage is the fall out of the frequency of fear and into the frequency of love. Because courage requires you to go inward and face everything that you've been running from in building your business and in building that successful life, right? And you get to start looking at things and accepting things. You start accepting your mother and father for the role that they played in your life. You start accepting some of the things you call mistakes, which there are no mistakes. You start looking back at your life going, you know what? It was all a perfect part of my life's journey because it got me here. It's like with my affair, you know, if you're a man out there, you know, I know what it's like to be stuck on porn, right? I know what it's like to have an affair. I know what it's like to beat myself up for all of it. And I know what it's like for people to like look down on me. And I have an entire community talking bad about me. Why? Because I built it that way. I brought it upon myself. I was the guy that said, look at me, I'm perfect. Well, when you're not perfect, guess what you're going to get, right? And I remember people would tell me, oh, Danny, but everybody makes mistakes. And I remember thinking, I don't know that it was a mistake. Like, if it wasn't for that, I would not be who I am today, and I wouldn't be doing this work. Anyhow, when you keep going up in the scale of consciousness, at the very top, there's enlightenment. And enlightenment is living not just in the 3D or in the 4D, but you're in the fifth dimension, and you see everything as one. You see, you are me, I am you. You see God as one. All separation ceases to exist. And here's the really interesting thing. Like, I was very religious in my past. Like, I would read the Bible, and I would study, and I went to seminary, and I did all of that. And I remember asking, like, how come the miracles of the Bible no longer exist? Like, that was one of my number one questions. And my second one was, how come I don't hear God? Well, when you go up to enlightenment, every frequency has a life view, has an energy scale, and has a view of God. And in shame, your view of God is disdain. It's like you unconsciously think God hates you.
Oh, I see.
Guess what the view of God is as at enlightenment?
Tell me.
I am. And if you think about it, this is how powerful that is because Jesus, when he was asked, who are you? And they were asking him that because they wanted to kill him for his answer. Why? Because they were at fear.
Sure.
So they couldn't comprehend what he was saying the same way most today can't comprehend it. Well, Jesus answered, I am that I am. Why? He had reached enlightenment. And what I discovered is that what he was trying to tell all of us is not to wait for him. It's not even to become him. It's to become ourselves. Because when we can heal and become ourselves, then we understand everything that he was saying, and we reach a level where everything becomes beautiful. I haven't forgot your answer, your question. So what I had to do, I had to go from drive into my heart, into I don't want to work another day of my life. Like, oh my God, I see where all of that energy was coming from. And I spent like 2 years, like, in chill mode, quite frankly, still wanting to help people, but there wasn't any action behind it, right? And then I started to unravel all of the woundings behind those old actions, how much people-pleasing was involved, right? How much I was actually not trying to help them, I was trying to make myself look good, right? Like all of this deep stuff. And then finally, to answer your question, you get to a point where you're no longer working. You're just being. And your work is just a reflection of who you are. And that, my friend, is like the pinnacle of life. Because everything flows. And truly it's what I want to help people do.
I've heard various successful people say, hey, I would tell you that you're going to like go out and make the money and get the house and the car. And I'll tell you that you're not going to find happiness with that, but I think you're just going to have to go do it.
You have to go do that. Because,
So do you think there's a way, especially thinking about my boys who are 15 and 10, that I can help them to achieve a level of, let's say, enlightenment where they're driven from a place of being, where their work is coming from a sustainable place, and maybe shortcut or eliminate all of this pain 100%, and desire?
100%.
How?
It's all by you being that version that you wish them to see.
It's what's caught, not taught concept.
That's it. Yeah. And I want to go deeper into that. It's energy. They vibrate at the same level that you vibrate at energetically. And so if you are not coming from that, they are not coming from that. If you are showing them love, then they have like all the love that they have within themselves. And then they don't have to go through that. And if they do, they'll bounce out of it really quickly.
once somebody has this awakening, this breakthrough, let's call it, right? Or maybe you can just tell me about your experience.
Sure.
Does it stick once you have the breakthrough? Or are there the daily bathing, brushing teeth, rituals for your soul and spirit that keep you in that place of being?
Here's the best way that I can describe it. It can't not stick if you actually do the work. And the reason why I say that is there's nothing to stick. You up-level your frequency, your energy. You open your vessel to receive more of God, and as a result, more light, and what naturally is attracted to the light, more light. So you just meet different people. I like to tell people that there's literally two worlds that are being created. There's one of fear, that lower frequency, and then there's one of love. Literally, when you're in this frequency, you don't even see what the folks in fear see. Like, you don't attract crime. You don't attract hate. You don't attract racism. You don't see negativity. Because it can't meet you because you're not at that frequency. And trust me, if someone would have told me that I would be saying this 10 years ago, I would say this guy's fucking woo-woo and he's lost his mind. Yeah. I'm just telling you it's what happens because picture like a projector in the middle of your chest. Mm-hmm. And based off of what you deeply feel, not think. Stick is think. Right? Stick is motivation and discipline and mastermind and accountability. No, what I'm telling you about is that literally, like the universe is literally you in verse. It's like everything that you're seeing out here is just a projection of what you feel in here, And so the way I've experienced it and the way a lot of my clients have experienced it is like the more and more that we help them heal this stuff, like the less and less resistance there is to life. Because that's the biggest issue, John, is our resistance. And the more and more free we are to receive. And it's just what you become. Yeah.
Is the answer the same with our spouses? Just to be that frequency, and that is how we support our spouses in their healing journey? Or is there something more?
Yeah, Ram, I'm going to speak to that in two different ways. So Ram Dass said it best. Like, if you can remember anything when you want to help the people that you love, remember this, because it'll say everything, but it may not say what you want it to say. He says the best way you can help someone that you love is to work on yourself. Mm-hmm. And the best way that they can help you is to work on themselves. Because what happens, John, is that like our energy is so powerful. Our healing is so powerful that what happens is naturally all of the 7 closest people to us, they start to be liberated as well. It happens like magic. Yeah. But not everybody wants to. And that's what you got to understand. Like, there's folks in my immediate circle, right, that they literally, I don't even tell them anything, but they just start unlocking. And they say, I want to go do this and I want to go do this. And then there's some people that will have nothing to do with it.
Right.
Because it threatens the survival of the ego.
Sure.
It threatens the survival of the mechanism that is controlling their life. And listen, I do want to speak to this.
You're not like most men. You don't just scroll, you study. You don't just parent, you lead. And you don't just read, you implement. And that's why we made this, a no-fluff, battle-tested list of books that sharpen men like you. Picked by our tribe, proven in real life, these books are going to stretch your mind, fuel your growth, and challenge who you thought you had to be. These aren't just great reads. They're tools to help you grow as a father, husband, and a man. Get the list and all the insights that bring it to life at frontrowdads.com/books.
And for some people, what happens is that like the light is trying to shine in you, but you know that when it does, some shit's going to have to change. Mm-hmm. And you're going to have to face some deep, deep, deep things that maybe you've been afraid of facing. Like in my case, I was married for 13 years. By the way, I'm not telling anybody to go get a divorce. I'm just telling you like my story, sure. Right? When I looked into the energy behind what attracted my first wife, it wasn't love, it was pain. Pain attracts pain. And so as a result of pain attracting pain, I attracted someone that essentially treated me just like my mom did. There was no space for me to be the real me, because with our women, for example, when our women are in their wounded masculine energy, what they have to do to feel safe is chop the men down.
Yeah.
So they have to constantly make you wrong, and they have to constantly tear you down, because the lower you get, the higher they get and the safer they feel. You understand the dynamics behind this?
1000%.
Yeah. And here's what has to happen. Some people want to look at that and go, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry. I didn't even realize I was doing that. Let's go heal this." And some people
just don't want to look in the mirror.
Will not.
Yeah.
And that's okay, man.
Yeah.
It's okay. And so
So did you come to an awakening before you exited that marriage? Is that what happened? You became aware of these things and then realized that at some point you need to step away?
I'll tell you what, actually, it was not just marriage for me, bro. It was marriage, religion, work, everything. Everything at once, because everything is energy. So whatever's going on in your marriage is going on in your business and is going on in your body in some way, shape, or form, right? So I have the affair. I finally come clean. I hated the way I felt. My world was falling apart. At that time, I had stopped going to church because my mom died of cancer, and I didn't understand why Jesus didn't come to save her. And I just started questioning everything. So much so, again, forgive me, I don't want to, but when you're in a religious environment, you're kind of taught not to question.
Oh, this is my biggest gripe.
Yeah, because if and when you question, you're going to unravel the lie. Sorry, that's the truth.
Yeah.
And the more that you question, the more that you realize that you don't need a savior.
Yeah.
The savior is you.
Yeah, correct.
However, I wasn't at that place yet. So I thought I had the devil inside of me. Why am I thinking all this stuff? Why am I worried about my feelings and my heart?
Yeah.
Why am I thinking that I don't even know if I can love her the way that she deserves to be loved? So I was like, "Pastor, please, I don't know, baptize me or do some shit to get this demon out of me."
Sure.
That's how I was thinking, right? And so I go to the pastor, and the pastor is literally flipping the book, and he's like, you can't get divorced because of this. And then the book says you can't get divorced because of this. And then you can't get divorced by the, and the whole time, my ex was sitting right there, the pastor's right in front of me, and the pastor's a buddy, right? Because I was giving a lot of money to the church, so
good friends,
VIP, right?
Platinum package, baby.
That's right. So he looks at me. I'll never. This was my moment, and I believe we all have a moment. This was my moment. He closes the Bible, he puts it down, he looks me dead in the eyes. He says, "Danny," he says, all of the blessings that God has bestowed on your life, all the business, the money, the adoration of the community, all of that. I go, "Yeah." He goes, "I'll tell you what." He said, "If you make this decision to get a divorce, you will lose all of God's blessings on your life." He said that. Swear to God is what he said. Now, in that moment, it was all of the teachings were up here, and all of what I was feeling was right here.
Yeah.
And I was and that moment, it was silence. And all I thought, John, was, okay, I don't know what love is, admittedly, but I know what it's not. And that's not love.
Yeah.
That feels like guilt and manipulation to me, and probably a projection of what you are experiencing in your life and in your marriage. So I may not know what love is, but I know what it's not. And if it means that I live in a cardboard box for the rest of my life, on a corner, begging for food, but I could find love, I am willing to do anything. And that was my day where I was like, I'm done with all of this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, man.
Yeah.
Take me to today, or let's say the last 30 days.
Okay.
I'm curious for you now in this season of life, what moments are you operating at the highest frequency of love and enlightenment? When is that occurring for you the most? When is it the most clear? And are there moments when you
100%.
are in shame and at the low frequency? And if so, what are those?
It's never shame.
Okay.
But what I will say is it's resistance.
Okay.
Picture you start the journey here. And the ultimate is like monk status,
okay.
Buddha status, Jesus status. It's available for all of us, by the way, right? It's just, will you continue to look at all of the resistance in your energy field that is stopping you from enlightenment, from no fear of death?
Yeah.
I keep thinking of like Paramahansa Yogananda. Do you know who that is? Well, Paramahansa Yogananda is like gangster. This dude used to meditate so deep that he would tell people, hey, if I don't come back, like, you're going to have to wake me up to like bring me back.
Wow.
Right? This freaking guy one morning wakes up and says to everybody, guys, I love you, but today's my last day. I'll be going home today. And they're like, no, don't go. You don't know this? It's on YouTube.
Yeah.
Yeah. This dude gets up and gives a speech and then says goodbye and drops dead right there.
Stop.
Yes!
This is real?
Yes, this is real.
Why are you so excited right now?
Because that is fucking awesome.
Why is that awesome?
Because there's no fear.
Yeah. Okay.
Do you understand?
Okay.
Fear cannot exist. It's like you're okay with everything, and you know where you're going, and you know that your work here is done. Like, oh my God, that is the ultimate. That's the ultimate.
I love that.
Yeah, you know? Well, think about it. Isn't that where Jesus was? That's where he was. Like he knew and he was okay with it. Like, that's beautiful, man.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. And so what happens is that
do you think it's him? Is it him letting go? Is it him like almost acceptance. In a way cutting a tether to like, is that part of the ascension, is like the ultimate letting go? Or is it being called to something? I mean, I know we're guessing.
I believe everyone has their journey.
Yeah.
And I believe many of us in past lifetimes, like for me, what feels like is true is like, this is my last lifetime. And I believe like, through ceremony, I've seen, and I've experienced times where, like I remember one ceremony in particular where I saw myself and I was in Egypt and I was like a bad guy. And I used to use my gift of communication for evil. And I've seen other times where like I was killed because of speaking out and telling the truth. And I feel like this is my lifetime to like be me. I'm protected. I can tell my truth and I get to go when I want to go, type of deal.
Wow.
Could you have gotten there? I ain't coming back.
Could you have gotten there? Can I make an assumption?
Without the medicine?
Yeah. Okay.
No.
What's your stance on psychedelics, medicines?
I think every human on planet Earth should take it and should experience it. And I'm going to tell you why, for this reason. Because if you don't, there's resistance. Think about that man, Paramahansa Yogananda. Think about the lack of resistance, how free he must have felt in here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what the medicine does is the medicine basically shows us, it's just a mirror for us.
Yeah.
So when we're like, guess what? It's because that's inside of you.
Yeah.
Yeah. When you judge it, when you look down on it, guess what? It's because that's inside of you.
Sure.
And so, yeah, I would say if it's for that reason alone, and it's like, I'm sure most of the guys will understand this, because when you are a successful businessman, that's what makes you a successful businessman. The fact that like you're afraid of something and you go, fuck it, I'm going to do it anyways. You know what I'm saying? And if I lose the money, or if, they steal from me, whatever, I'll build it back no matter what. Yep. What's that same vibration? That's how I treated the medicine. I was scared, man. Scared. But I said, I'm going to do it no matter what. So.
Yeah. Did, how do you pronounce his name?
Paramahansa Yogananda.
Paramahansa, yeah. So did that individual, do you know if they used any medicine?
I don't, but I believe some souls come on earth and they're already there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I just don't believe that's many of us.
Sure.
Yeah. But let me get back to the question.
Okay.
So you're going through and you're facing resistance. My greatest point of resistance right now is allowing love in. Allowing myself to feel like I'm a part of a family unit. Because I didn't feel that as a kid. And so I said this on another podcast. My wife and I, this is a great example. I married the exact woman that I needed to marry in order to mirror to me all of my deepest fears and insecurities.
Totally.
So she's 5'10". Pause. I'm a Hispanic male. Hispanic males are culture. We're macho. The woman is in the kitchen, right? So it's very lower than, right? So just think about that energetically. Now, she's a little bit taller than me. I'm 5'8", right? And I remember at the beginning when we were, first dating, it's like, is she gonna like me because I'm shorter than her and like all this stuff. I had to face that insecurity. Second, I have 3 kids. And she didn't have any. So I had to face that, like, will she love me even though I have these kids? Third, she's white. And I'm a Hispanic from the ghetto. Like, you know what I'm saying? So like when you may not understand this, but when you grow up thinking that you are a minority, that shit, it's ingrained in you. It's like it's in you, right? So and even when you make money and your business is successful and whatever, like, that's all show. Like, I'm talking deep in your heart and soul. Do you see yourself as less than because of this? Because if you do, you're not free. So I married the perfect woman, my dream girl. And with that in my mind, I still was concocting ways to go out and hook up with some chick from Colombia. Not consciously, unconsciously. It was like, I wonder if this will ever, right? Well, guess what was happening inside of her? Inside of her, the same thing was going on. She was looking at, and she was always being maybe a little bit critical of, did I have to move from London to Austin? Did I really want to call in a life experience with like 3 other boys? Did I really want to like be away from my family? And both of us went into ceremony. And the medicine kicked me in the ass and basically said, what do you want? You're the creator. What do you want? You want the chick from Colombia? Because if so, you can have that. There's no one stopping you, right? And it was really beautiful, man, because when you're in medicine space, you're out of here, you're in
totally.
Here. And I was like, no. I want Jen. Then the medicine was literally like, then shut up. And this is your family. And this is what I was like, okay, I get it. No problem. But the same thing with her. It was really powerful for her. She experienced a Kundalini awakening. And
define that for our audience.
Yeah. Kundalini is your energy. It's the energy of the snake. And is essentially what Kundalini energy is your ability to absorb, feel, and receive all the pleasure and joy that there is in life. Well, when we're here and we're being critical and judgmental, we can't. So the medicine asked her, are you willing to let all of that go in order to see the joy that life is here to offer you? And so both of us healed that, and it was really beautiful. And so those are the types of things, like that's the most recent thing that came up. And then, like you go and nothing happens and everything is great. And then some other shit comes up and then that's the journey, man.
Been married 18 years. Yeah. I get it, man.
Yeah.
It's the hardest thing. I've said it 1,000 times on this podcast, dude. Yeah. Did you meet Tatiana, by the way, at that party? Do you know?
I don't know.
Okay. I look forward to you meeting her sometime.
Can I say something about marriage, by the way? And I will say this. This is my challenge to the men. I told my wife this the other day. I said, babe, I've been married before. And this is so different. Because back then, the thing that kept me in it was religion, society, what others would think, blah, 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 blah. It was never love.
Yeah.
Here, none of that exists.
Yeah.
So it's like a day-to-day, moment-by-moment decision to stay here with you And that is like so profound and so beautiful and so liberating, because both of us are like, we don't have to be in this.
Yep.
We choose to be in this. And I think that's where the magic is.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Reminds me of my buddy Brian Reeves, choose her every day.
Yeah.
Concept. So good.
Yeah.
I love that.
That's exactly it. That's exactly it. Yeah.
Tell me about your ego and how it shows up, how you're aware of it when you might still get blindsided by it.
My ego used to show up in look at me. I needed to be seen. And it's so, I think, perfect, because I think it's now what allows me to do the work that I do.
Yeah.
And allows people, like when they come to Awaken or our events, to like really go all into themselves. I literally will start the event and people will be like, yeah. And I'm like, okay, rule number 1, you're not here for me. You're not here to take a picture with the guy on Instagram. Like, you're here for you.
Yeah.
So put the phone away. And I think people are like, you know, it really, but the only way I could know the difference in that is if I went into that and I healed that.
Sure.
Because I used to be the guy like posing behind the car and like with the Louis Vuitton bag, stupid, but perfect, right? And now,
stupid but perfect.
Yeah.
So good.
I'll tell you recently, without naming names. Now my ego, it's dying off.
Yeah.
But every once in a while it flutters. It's like the need to be right.
Yeah.
There's a saying you can.
I have no idea what you mean.
Yeah, there's a saying you can either be right or you can be happy, but
Correct.
You can't be both. You know. And so a guy posted a video. I don't even know who this guy is. And my wife shows me the video and goes, you know, I'm really happy that we offer our people integration. And I go, oh, and I looked at the video. Now, the energy of this guy in this video, it's an antagonistic energy. Like, you know, when we're at that level of the journey, we use antagonism to get people to like comment and like our stuff, because then hopefully our followers will grow. And again, I can only point that out because I've been there myself, right? Well, this guy was talking about Joe Dispenza. And look, there's a lot of people out there that do this work. But like, if there's anyone, if you've ever actually been to his event, who is like the real deal, Joe Dispenza is the real fucking deal. Like, you know what I'm saying? And so, and he was like, and you know, and this is like, you know, dark energy, and Joe Dispenza needs to step down. And I'm like the old ghetto in me came.
You're defending your boy.
And I don't even know the guy.
Yeah.
But I know right from wrong.
Yeah, sure.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
Totally,
like I know the truth.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, and that just felt like injustice to me.
Yeah.
You know, and I snapped.
Dude, you and I have this in common.
and I did my thing.
Yeah.
I did my thing.
Sure.
Okay, now hang on a second. Take a wild guess what kind of an audience a guy like that must attract.
Right.
Oh,
you just called that right in.
I called that right in, and the next thing you know, you see, like the guy is making a video of me, and all his buddies are making a video of me because I gave
you
them.
Jumped into it.
I jumped into the pig pen.
Yes, you did.
So I got dirty.
Yes.
And I gave them all of the ammunition that they needed for the little 20 seconds of fame to use me to get their little views, to get their little followers. And guess what I had to do?
Yeah.
Nothing. Why? Because I did it. I created it. And so I just allowed it all. And I listen, man to man. Number one, you don't ever talk about another man like that. Number two, you don't ever make a video of another man like that. Like, to me, like from where I'm from, that is like bitch acidness. Like, you just don't do that, right? You call someone up, you meet them face to face, you talk, you know, whatever, right? And so to me, it was a reminder of who I am, the work that I do, the people that I'm trying to help, and the fact that I simply have to let go of my need to be right and to defend myself. Because when I do, I'm just calling for this.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Dude, that's so great. So great. So much awareness. I love that level of awareness. Yeah.
That comes from a lot of work.
Yeah.
And and even here sometimes locally, I'm very cautious. Like when you called me, like, I felt your energy. I knew, so I was like, yeah, but I'm very cautious.
Yeah.
Because it's like, yeah.
Let's go there for a second.
Yeah.
You know what I feel called to ask you, man? I don't know how to ask this question, but it was some version of, like, do you feel seen by me? Even though we just met, right? We just got introduced. We're new in this relationship. I'm wondering, like, to what level do you open yourself up in this type of environment for me to see you, respect you? If you can use the word love in the spiritual sense of loving a human. If I love myself, of course I love you, right?
Yeah, let me answer that.
Yeah.
And I say this like gently and truthfully, like, I don't need you to.
Yeah, this is
which is what liberates us to just
be.
That's
right. Yes.
Like, I don't need to be seen, or I don't need to be respected. I don't need that, right? You know what I need? I need you to not need from me.
Yeah.
That's the key.
Dude, yes.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Oh, fuck yeah, I do.
And in a world where everyone is trying to grab at you because it means something for them, that's what I'm like. Like, no. I just rather stay away.
Totally.
And so for me, this just feels, it just feels safe to come and like fucking talk.
Yeah,
that's
right.
it. Yeah.
I called my buddy Qasim this morning, who's in town. I ran into him at a dinner the other night, and I called him this morning, and I was just like, "Hey, man, it's so good to see you. Like, what a surprise! I didn't know he was in town. I was at a dinner. He walked into the room. I was like, this is the greatest. I love this guy." And then when I hung up the phone, or I was about to hang up, and I said, "Hey, man, I just want you to know, dude, I just love you. I don't need anything from you." And I think those are some of the sweetest words that we can speak to somebody, is like, I don't need anything from you.
That's right.
Dude, I really don't. That is such a beautiful, freeing, loving, and maybe the safest place where you're not grabbing at someone's attention or their love or their affection or whatever it might be.
Or what they can do for you.
What they can do for you.
Yeah. I actually, I thought that thought yesterday, is that like, someone that loves you doesn't need anything from you because they have everything that they need within themselves. And that very reason is the thing that allows them to love you in the first place. And most people don't know how to love and how to receive love. Because they're so busy trying to get. And trying to grab. And needing something from you. And that's why humanity is where it's at, because it doesn't know how to simply be within themselves and allow others to be within themselves without needing anything. That's love.
Dude, the last 48 hours, Tatiana was going through something. She had a childhood wound got activated. She asked for a little space, and she was like, I'm just going to heal. And she even said, like, I'll take the loves and the hugs, but a lot of talking I just can't do. And
good for her.
Right. Right?
It's like, shut up.
Good for her.
I can't be distracted right now. I gotta be in here. Yeah.
So you know what happens to me?
What?
My wound gets activated by that. I start making up stories why she's doing this. I start like imagining all these reasons why. My energy is not now in a loving place. I start to get into this place of like anxious, fearful, and she feels that.
That's right.
And I start causing problems because I need her to be okay, for me to be okay. I need her for her to come back to me, love on me, adore me. I see all this happening. And because I'm having a tough time not getting all of her affection, love, your enoughness, John, I start energetically panicking. Right? And whatever is that low frequency, she starts feeling it, and it all starts going off the rails.
That's it. The greatest thing that did your parents get divorced?
No.
No?
No.
Where
they separated at one point for 6 months, but they're married.
So where did you learn that you had to make sure that everyone was happy in order to keep the peace? You learned that somewhere.
I did. And I don't know if there was a moment for that to occur. But I tell a story about how I remember a moment when I wanted that to be the feeling in our home. And it was very innocent. I woke up early and I thought, And maybe there's something beneath this that I've never found or explored, but I woke up early and I was like, I'm going to clean the house. I'm going to make breakfast. I'm going to treat it like when my parents wake up, they're going to come downstairs and be like, you cleaned the house. You made us breakfast. Like, I remember it so clearly.
Of course you do, yeah.
Wanting everybody to be okay and happy because I did something to change their environment, to make their world okay. Remember that moment.
Yeah. It's interesting you bring this up because it's something that Jen and I recently discovered, is that I was exactly the same way. And I needed her to be happy.
Yeah.
And whenever she wasn't happy, I would be. Yeah. It would flip a switch in me.
For sure.
Right? And then think about this, John. When we are like this, it doesn't give them the space to process whatever unhappiness is going on inside of them. Yeah. It's like we sabotage their journey and their process. And so both of us discovered that our partner's happiness is not our responsibility. It's theirs. So whenever she is feeling a certain way, right, all I can do is be there to hold space or clear the space so that she can go into whatever she has to go into. Outside of that, it's her journey, bro. Same way it's your journey and it's my journey, right? And the same way when I'm feeling something, I have to be man enough to not need her to come comfort me. I got to go into my shit and I got to figure it out, right? And it goes back to the best thing you can do for someone else is to work on yourself and vice versa. Yeah.
I feel like I'm going to clip that out of this show and send it to myself. I'm going to tell my assistant, send this clip to me from Danny every morning at 8 a.m. for at least 10 days so I can anchor that in.
It's because just think of the power behind it, bro. The immense power behind it. And I'd like to talk about kids now.
Yeah. Hey, real quick, bookmark kids, come right back to that. I want to say something, call myself out, which is maybe men can relate to this. Mm-hmm. You know, one of the things I feel shame about, Danny, is that I'll learn something like this. I'll hear brilliance like that on a podcast. It resonates with me. I'm like, so much truth to that.
Right.
And then I'll fuck it up again.
I'm going to tell you why.
God, it hurts.
It's okay. First off, it's because there's a part of us that is still in here. Mm-hmm. So people ask me all the time, what's the best book that I can read to heal or to start my spiritual journey? And the answer is none. Yeah. Because you're still depending on someone else's work
1,000%
or words or journey. The answer is go within and connect here and create your own book of life.
Yeah, that's right.
That's the answer.
Yes, it is.
And I would say that the reason why our work is so impactful is because it's real. It's because I've lived it. It's because I've gone into the parts of myself that I've been afraid to go into and released all of the shame and all of the guilt and all of that stuff. And my encouragement to you would be twofold. Number one, it's time to start the process of letting go. And when I say it's time to start the process of letting go, is the act of feeling shame is habitual and it keeps you in the resonance of the state that you've been living in. So I would say that instead of feeling shame, the moment that it comes up, you need to look at it and you need to separate yourself from it and go, okay, so I messed up. You know what? I'm supposed to, because I'm on the journey. And because of the life that I lived as a little boy, and so guess what? It's okay. That for me was food. And that for me was porn too. Brother, I was so stuck on food and porn in a really bad way. Food for me was as a result of, which by the way, men, if you deal with, any food issues, it's a mother wound. Because the feminine is the body. And so when we didn't receive love and nurturing from our mother, we want to receive. And that energetic imbalance within is food. The food is it craves that's why so much men have a hard time and they're in the pantries or they're whatever. It's because that frequency is inside. Well, it's the same thing with porn. You cannot and you will not look at porn another day in your life when you heal the shame frequency that is within you. Because porn is just a vibrational match for the shame frequency that is within you. So for me, it's the same thing with anything that you're trying to kill, alcohol or drugs or whatever. I have clients that they're trying to drop alcohol, for example. Well, if a man is constantly drinking alcohol, why is that? It's an outward expression of something that is going on inside. So one or two things is going to happen. Either A, you're going to beat him up. Oh, you did it again. What's wrong with you? Yeah. Which is going to keep validating the story and the shame, which repeats the cycle, which, by the way, is exactly what he is calling in unconsciously from the energy inside of himself. Or like my client, he was stuck. He was like, oh, Danny, I drank again. And you know what? And I go, so what? Well, what do you mean, so what? Yeah, so what? He goes, well, I don't want to do it. Well, then don't do it. But I did. Okay, well, that's okay. You're gonna. Aren't you the guy whose dad used to beat the shit out of him? Aren't you the guy whose mom didn't love him? Aren't you the guy whose girlfriend broke up with him? Aren't you the guy that, what do you think is going to happen when you've gone through all of that? So what? It's okay. And all you can do is do your best.
And that's part of the healing.
And that's part of the journey. Part of the journey is letting go.
Like you said, no mistakes, right?
That's it. There are no mistakes. Everything is okay. Right. And here's the crazy thing. When you stop looking at it like from, I messed up, you stop messing up. Because part of why you mess up in whatever it is because you have an attachment to messing up.
Yeah.
Therefore,
Dude,
you
so true.
find a way to continue to create the story that you have that you are a mess up.
Part of why I think I do it is so that I can tell you on this podcast about it.
That's right. Because it makes you feel a certain way or it gets you the attention that,
right.
whatever,
I get connection,
whatever.
right?
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, sure.
And that's a frequency.
Totally.
Second, go journey.
Mm-hmm.
At first it was ayahuasca and then it was mushrooms. I'm going to tell everybody my secret medicine now is cannabis. Mm-hmm. You're in and out in 1 hour. Mm-hmm. And people are like, cannabis? It is powerful because even cannabis is reflecting to you whatever's going on inside of you. And so if you could have an intention, like in this case, I'm ready to release all shame from my energetic field. And you hold that intention here. Put it down, lay down, cover your eyes, play some beautiful love frequency. Watch what's about to happen.
Yeah. So I love this idea of making it the intention, of course, bringing intention, making it a ceremony, calling in what you want. Like that usage is so powerful.
But that's what it was made for.
Yeah.
Yep. And we humans messed it up.
Yeah, totally.
Like we humans abused it.
Yeah.
So like I only touch medicine now. I don't microdose. If you do, that's fine. No problem. But I don't party with it. I don't nothing. To me, medicine is here and God left it for us for our healing.
Yeah.
That is it.
Right.
So I only use it when I have a clear intention, when I have a blockage inside of me that I want to release, and when I'm going to set aside enough time for me to go into myself and be with myself and heal this.
Yeah.
And that's what happens.
When I was younger, people would talk about energy and I'm like, this is such bullshit.
Sure,
right?
Sure.
Or I'd see somebody like holding their hands over somebody and doing energy work. I'm like, this is the most, the biggest crock of shit. And
me too.
It's not until probably, and I'll even put like a time frame for me. So I'm 49 now. From 45 to 49, I started subscribing to this concept of energy. Mm-hmm. And I actually think that's the greatest work that I could do is energetic work, is vibe, frequency. How does it feel? When I was younger, I put so much weight on the words. I'm like, I'm saying the right words. Somebody taught me nonviolent communication. I'm communicating the right words in the right way. I learned all the coaching philosophies. I studied NLP, did all that shit. And I completely missed the frequency in which I said those things,
That's
the vibration,
right.
how it felt to be with me.
Right.
And so my wife has said to me several times, and by several, I mean a couple tens of thousands of times over the course of 2 decades of being married, that she's like, I don't feel safe with you. And I'm like, that feels like the biggest critique, attack on me as a person, and yet
it's her truth.
But when I look at it, if I'm really being honest, she has the right to say that.
Absolutely, man.
Yeah, because of my frequency.
That's right.
Because of my unhealed wounds, because of my ego, because of my need to be right, because of how easily offended I could be, she had a very hard time telling me what was real for her.
That's right. And what I will say is, when it comes to couples, first things first, you chose your parents. I have to start there.
Yeah.
All of us chose our parents.
Like a soul contract.
Yep. And, I've worked with people, the most beautiful work I've seen, I've worked with women whose, dads molested them. This is how deep it can get. But I've helped, I've seen women who go deep enough into the healing to realize that like even that was a part of their journey. And they chose that specific path to lead them to the work that they are now here to do. That's the beauty of alchemy. That's when you can alchemize anything that has happened and like you're free, man. You're free. And second, we choose our partners. And we choose our partners to be the perfect partner that we need on our life's journey. And so I think it's really beautiful that she says, by the way, look at the time.
Yeah.
I think it's really beautiful that she says, I don't feel safe, because at least there's a part of her that feels safe to say that to you. And then here's the question, and this is for everybody listening. All of life is yin and yang. All of life is the beginning and the end. It's life and it's death. It's the moon and it's the sun. It's the ground and it's the sky. It's the positive, it's the negative, right? All of life.
Yep.
Everything that exists in life, there's polar opposites. Well, when your wife tells you something like, I don't feel safe, it is your choice how you respond and feel to those words. When we respond from a place of like defensiveness or, whatever, that is showing us something. It's okay. It's showing us something. And then we can also respond from a place of curiosity and understanding and trying to get to the bottom of it. I'm not saying this is easy. What I am saying is typically what happens is we go here, we go into defense, we go into they're wrong, and then here's the craziest thing that happens the deeper that you go. You start to realize that our partners and everyone in life is literally a character that we have called in that is playing a role in our life's evolution. The thing that stops us from that is the resistance, right? So like one day she'll no longer have to tell you that. But the thing stopping you from experiencing that as a reality is potentially the resistance that you have to going deep within to seeing what's going on inside of me that is causing that as an outcome. And once you do, it's over. So there's another journey. Why doesn't she feel safe? I'm telling you, that's all I do, bro. That's all I do.
You're giving me so much work.
That's all I do.
But I just want to make her wrong, so she has to do the work. Not me.
No, because see, that's the thing we have to understand. Guys, listen to me. Your wife is never wrong.
Yeah.
Never. It is never about her. It is always about you. And when you get that, every part of you that is getting triggered or bothered or angry or the dishes or the whatever, my wife and I call it the small shit. The small shit lives here, and most couples stay stuck at the small shit. And I am telling you that all of the small shit is the surface for what is like the big shit. And what the small shit is trying to show you is that the big shit is still down there and it's yet to be resolved.
Yeah, that's right.
And when you resolve this, the small shit goes away.
So I wanted to ask these in honor of our podcast producer. So these are like, imagine gut reaction, 1 minute-ish answers. I'm going to give you four.
Fire away.
So we'll wrap with this and then you can have some final words. Okay, so Jamie's questions. What's the most important skill a father can make sure to teach his children?
I I think it all goes back to self-love. Yeah. And I don't know that that's a skill. It's just a way.
I feel like it is.
Yeah, it's just a way of like
how to
being.
Do that. Mm-hmm.
Learning how to honor yourself, learning how to speak your truth, learning how to be clear with what you want outside of what society or religion or all of these external paradigms are trying to get for you. And you know who taught? I'm so proud of my oldest son. He was in wrestling for 2 years. That's it. And in those 2 years, he took third in like the district tournament, and which was allowed him to advance. And like, like me, like there's no chill in me. So I would always like, I got to make it to state. And if I didn't make it to state, I'd be disappointed in myself. And anyhow, he didn't make it. But like for what he was able to do in 2 years and the maturity in which he like ended it all, like I was like sad. His mom was sad and he was like, you know what? This is a good ending for me. And I was like, yes, you get it. So I was really proud of him.
He's your teacher.
That's
in
it.
That moment.
That's it. Yeah.
He said, man, children and elders.
Yeah.
The father wound. How does that affect men?
That's a whole 3-hour podcast. I mean, your mother teaches you your relationship with self, and your father teaches you your relationship with others, because your first relationship when you're here on the planet is with your mom, because you're inside of her, and then you're connected to her through your umbilical, but then you're connected to her through her breasts. She sustains you. So the first human outside of you and mom is your dad. So the way that your dad, it's all about love. That's it. Nothing else, man. The way that your dad loved you, his capacity to love you, shows you your capacity in the world and with other people. It's a lot deeper, but yeah.
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 Okay.
That's the essence.
This is all just a preview for our next conversation.
Sounds good.
What's the worst thing that you can do to a child?
Hit him.
Why?
A child looks to you as a father as the masculine representation of God in the first 7 years of life. As a mother as the feminine representation of God. Because you haven't been interjected yet with like philosophy, religion, any of that stuff. Take it the first 3 years. So they are looking at you as the embodiment of God and life. Their relationship with you, think about it. They don't know phone. They don't know any. They just know this. So when this hits them, what you're sending them a message of is like God/life equals pain. It's that deep. And I know, and I know that a lot of us were brought up in homes where that was normal. And my challenge to that is just look at society and look at how much we're all struggling. All we are searching for in our careers, in partners, in life, we're just searching for love. And hitting is the opposite of love. There's a lot that you can do to discipline children without having to hit them.
Last question. How important is men's work in the healing process? For a guy like you or me, how important is men in community doing healing work together?
I think it's very important. There's a war going on right now, and it's a war between men and women. And it's a war within men with their own masculine and feminine. And, these phones that we have are not helping. They're actually here to hurt us. And so the more and more that AI comes out and the more that social media becomes prevalent, the less and less connected we are to ourselves and to each other as a result. And I think that men's work, but I do want to caution, like lead with your intuition. Because there's a lot of people that are starting to do this work, but it doesn't necessarily mean that they have done the work. You know, there's a lot of people that are just finding a new way to do business. And listen, I can say that because at the beginning, if I look back at it, that was me. You know, I had to get to a place where I stripped myself of all of that and genuinely didn't give a shit about the money or any of it. Right? I just wanted to help people based off of my way of helping people. And so just listen to this to make sure that you're in the right group. And that's it.
Okay, this is the time. So we can end right this second, or you can have the final words. Anything you want to say that we didn't get to today? Any calling to the audience?
I feel complete.
Well, I love that.
Yeah.
Thank you for being here, brother. This was a really fun conversation.
Yeah, cool. Thanks for having me.
I hope it was enjoyable for you as it was for me.
It was.
All right, man.
Yeah,
thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening today, fellas. If you got value from this episode, I ask that you take 1 second right now and you share this with another dad in your life that you respect, that you know is committed to becoming a better man, family man, and businessman. And on that note, I want to honor you for choosing growth. Your family will thank you years from now for all the effort that you're putting in to learn the strategies so you can show up more fully for them today. Take care.